Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the MEDEX graduation ceremony. Would you please stand and join with me in welcoming the MEDEX graduates? Please be seated. Again, I want to welcome you to the MEDEX graduation ceremony. My name is Terry Scott. I'm the program director for the MEDEX program. And this is a very important day. Graduation is a big day for all of us. It's a special moment for the graduates who have worked hard, sacrificing time with family and friends in order to complete this journey. We recognize that for most of the individuals here, this commitment didn't start with just the 2 years in the program. It was many, many years of preparation in order to be able to qualify to get to this program. So this is a very important day, and I want to be one of the first to congratulate each and every one of the graduates on becoming a physician assistant. I also want to acknowledge your family and friends who have supported you on this endeavor. Nothing of this magnitude is ever done without the support and commitment and dedication of family and friends. So for the graduates, I also want to just ask that you please stand and recognize the folks in the audience who have supported you on this endeavor. Now, you all may recall that it was just over 2 years ago that I welcomed you to the MEDEX program. At that time, you were embarking on a journey that would be one of the most challenging and yet rewarding in your career. Today, that journey ends and a new one begins. The opportunity to practice as a physician assistant is a privilege. You are now equipped with the basic knowledge and skills to deliver competent health care to patients. And in the future, the very lives of individuals will depend on the decisions that you make. Take this responsibility seriously and do the most good. My role up here is to briefly review the agenda. We are very fortunate and that we have some wonderful dignitaries who will be speaking. MEDEX is celebrating its 50th anniversary as a PA program. We are the second oldest PA program in the country. And so we're very happy to have reached that milestone. And with the individuals that we have today, I'll be speaking about in a moment, we'll address this. We're going to review the agenda briefly with you. So we're going to have some welcome remarks from some dignitaries. We've got a keynote speaker. We'll meet some of the students, speakers. We're going to present some awards. And these are surprises to the students. They've been chosen by the faculty. We'll then move to awarding of certificates, and then we'll have the closing remarks. While this is a formal ceremony, we pride ourselves in the informality, so when your graduate steps across the stage, please feel free to get down here and take that shot photo that you would like. So keep that in mind. We also ask that the graduates, before we get out of here, we would like to get one final photo of you, and we'd like to ensure that we get you up on stage for one final photo before you leave. So, MEDEX is a significant part of the University of Washington School of Medicine, and so bringing greetings from the School of Medicine is Dr. Paul James. Dr. James is professor and chair of the Department of Family Medicine. He attended the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where he received his baccalaureate and medical degrees, and he completed his family medicine residency training at the University of Virginia, hospitals in Charlottesville, Virginia. Dr. James brings expertise in the UW Department of Family Medicine in several areas, including rural medicine, which is important for our region, ambulatory medical education, practice-based research, and measurement of healthcare quality for patients with cardiovascular diseases and team-based care. Would you please join me in welcoming Dr. Paul James.
So, on behalf of the University of Washington, the School of Medicine, and the Department of Family Medicine, I'd like to welcome all of you, and particularly welcome and congratulations to our graduates. We are just so very proud of you. And then along with them, we know that their accomplishments would not be possible without you, the friends and family, that make the sacrifices that they've made over the last couple of years to make this important day possible. So we thank you and make a special welcome to you. I also then want to make a special welcome and thanks to our faculty who also do a marvelous job at providing the mentorship, the instruction that's so valuable to our learners. In this final day of your education, it really marks a milestone, which is the end of one phase and then the beginning of the next. And so I don't want to miss why you're here, and that is patience. It's actually the families that you come from, because they're going to be patients when they're not here. It's all of us. Actually, faculty need your help too. And there are people out there walking today who you're going to interact with, and you're going to change their lives. And so we are proud of you for that, and we celebrate this day of milestones. I also then want to put in context the important role I see of these graduates. So I'm a family physician. I've been practicing for 30 years. I know it doesn't look like it. But I was very fortunate in my first few years of practice to work with two physician's assistants who were experienced Vietnam War veterans in my rural practice. And they contributed importantly to my education. And they taught me something really profound, which is that today, healthcare, the very best healthcare,
interprofessional education and teen care. As we all know, Duke University started the PA profession in 1965 when Dr. Eugene Stead and Harvey Estes trained a group of women. Dr. Smith at the MEDEX program followed in 1969 by starting the MEDEX program. As MEDEX celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, I thought it fitting to have Dr. Barrett Barnett from Duke as our keynote speaker. Please welcome Dr. Barnett.
Good morning. I'm going to try to do this from my computer, and I have a little bit of dry mouth, so if you see me take a couple sips of water, please excuse that. So good morning, Dr. Keene, Dr. James, Mr. Terry Scott, faculty, staff, and awardees. Most of all, good morning again to the family, friends, in the University of Washington MEDEX Seattle PA class of 2019, the 51st class of this legacy program. I am Jacqueline Barnett, Program Director of the Duke University PA program, home of the Duke Blue Devils and the birthplace of the PA profession. I am bringing you well wishes from every PA program from across the country. Because from my perspective, and since I'm standing up here today, it's my perspective. From my perspective, the MEDEX model and the Duke model built the foundation of this wonderful profession, so all PAs and PA programs should be sending their 50th commencement congrats to you today, so I'm doing it for them. I'm truly honored to be standing in front of you, and this is a very proud moment in my 25 years of being a PA. I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you today, and I was reminded of words from my previous medical school dean. He said, the best commencement speeches should follow the 4 B's. Be inspirational, be passionate, be brief, and be seated. So I will try to live up to the 4 B's, especially since I'm fondly known as Dr. B. To do this, though, class, I'm going to need a little help from you. Now, Terry, my assumption is they haven't quite graduated yet, so they still need to listen to the professors, right? Okay, all right. So I need a little help from you. So throughout my time with you today, I will engage you. I may ask you to reach out to your classmate or to respond to something I said. I want you to just go with the flow. Don't leave me hanging up here. If you do, I'm going to go all the way back to Durham, North Carolina and talk about that MEDEX class. They didn't go with the flow. Okay? So MEDEX PA class 21, let's roll. First of all, you did it. Please look to your classmate, give them a high five, and say, we did it. You did it. Yes, you did it. You completed prerequisite courses. You navigated that doggone CASPA system. You interviewed, and that was just to get you in the door. Then you got here, and you had to do the work. You had to get through basic sciences, pathophysiology, and clinical skills. And then the winter, spring semester came around, and woo! I hear adult medicine 1 and 2 courses were kick you in the gluteus maximum kind of courses. You know, kick you in the butt. Well, you needed the rigor of those didactic courses to prepare you to succeed in your clerkships and the 4 months preceptorship. All over whammy so that you could be here celebrating your commencement today. So let me tell you why I have so much respect for this program and this institution and the reason I was so excited when I was asked to speak to you today. It's all about the mission of the program and what this program stands for. My grandfather used to say that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And the MEDEX PA program has not wavered on its mission and what it stands for since the day Dr. Smith started this program. The heart and core of the mission of this program is really to increase access to care by educating experienced health personnel from diverse backgrounds with a focus on primary care and an emphasis on underserved populations and communities. You see, the MEDEX mission and what this program stands for is the core of who I am, what I stand for, and the reason I became a PA. You see, I grew up in an underserved rural community, and I wish there was a MEDEX PA to help provide care in my community. I come from Tracy's Landing, Maryland, a small, rural tobacco farming town with about 300 people. Most people did not have insurance and little access to care. When I grew up, the majority of my family did not have indoor plumbing. And even until 7 years ago, my aunt and uncle still did not have indoor plumbing in their house. My grandparents were sharecroppers, and I worked the tobacco fields. I still have a small callus on my hand right here, which I rub every now and then to remind me of my roots. And when things get tough, I remind myself that people had it a lot tougher than I ever will. I watched all of my uncles come back from Vietnam wounded, very different from how they left, and my family struggled to help them find normalcy. My grandfather was a sharecropper until his death. He died from untreated diabetes and hyperthermia from working in the tobacco fields. Many in my community would literally just pass out in those fields after working 10 to 12 hours a day, especially in the hot, humid, 100-degree Maryland weather. The town folks would call it a heat stroke. They would say, oh, so-and-so had a heat stroke today. This is not the 1930s, 1940s, or 1950s that I'm talking about. My grandfather died in 1983. That was not that long ago. I was the first to graduate from college in my family, in my entire family. No cousins, uncles, aunts, no one. My aunts and grandmothers cleaned houses and churches. Everyone in my family invested in me. They would send me $5 to $10 while I was in college. As a college student, I did not appreciate that as much as I do now. To think of the work they had to do and the sacrifices they made to send me $5 to $10 to this day leaves me emotional and brings tears to my eyes. Many people like our veterans and those from rural and underserved communities have fought and had to overcome many circumstances. Again, I rub this callus to bring me back to where I need to be. To tell you the truth, many of the problems that we deal with on a daily basis, it's really because of the privileges that we have. So if I have a plumbing problem, I remind myself that it's a privilege that I have indoor plumbing. If I get a flat tire on my way to a meeting, I remind myself it's a privilege that I even have a car. My mother would always say, Jackie, you have to work hard, do what's right so that others can help, so that you can help others have a better life, the way that so many have helped you. Now, she also said, you better not get into any trouble because we do not have money to get you out of trouble. I have tried to live by my mother's words. So for most of us, especially those of us with disadvantaged backgrounds in rural communities, it takes a village. And today, the class of 51, you become a part of that village. Winston Churchill says, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. My ask of you, the passionate question I have is what will you give and how will you make a life for others? You come from a legacy program and follow in the footsteps of giants like Dr. Dick Smith and the Othello pioneers, John Betts and Paul Snyder, former military corpsmen. Together, Betts and Snyder moved to rural Othello, Washington to work with physicians to improve access to care in rural areas. In the video on your website, Snyder talks about partnering with a doctor to see 67 patients until 6:30 in the evening, and then going to the hospital where they perform 7 surgeries until nearly 3 a.m. in the morning. And the doctor says, I'll see you back here at 6:30 a.m. This is legacy. This is service. This is the heart of a MEDEX PA. Some of the best known faculty leaders and dedicated service in PA education come from MEDEX. Faculty like Ms. Ruth Baldwin, who pretty much had her hand in every aspect of PA education at the state level, national, and internationally. What about Grace Landell, who served on this faculty here for nearly 20 years and led efforts to bring the MEDEX program to Sitka, Alaska, expanding care and educational opportunities to another rural and underserved area. This led the way for satellite programs in Yakima and Spokane, and for other PA programs now around the country who now have satellite campuses. You also have faculty, some sitting on this stage right here, some who may be in the audience, like Mr. Gino Gianola, the first PA hired at the National Institution of Health, and Dr. Tim Evans, physician, Dr. Karen Witt, Ms. Kira Bader, Mr. Tim Quigley, Ms. Amin Nadu, who have served in so many roles to support students and move this program and the profession forward. We stand in the shadow then and in the presence now of giants. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." MEDEX PAs and faculty have left a trail. Class of 2019, what will be your legacy? What will be your trail? How will you lead? How will you serve? Okay, I have some ideas. I want you to say, "We will jump in." When I say a statement, I want you to say, "We will jump in." Officials in your hometown are looking for individuals to serve and create a foot project similar to the MEDEX Tacoma project. Will you jump in? We will jump in. State officials need help with initiatives to combat the opioid crisis that has affected many individuals, families, and communities. Will you jump in? We will jump in. You could serve in your local state PA organizations. You could help with efforts to advance PA practice in your state. Will you jump in? We will jump in. We need PAs in clinical administrative roles like Connie Wynn, Chief PA at UW Medicine. We need PAs to serve in policy-making roles, education roles, and to serve as preceptors. We need PAs to mentor a diverse pool of applicants who are interested in the profession, just like I was and just like you were. There are many ways for you to lead, to serve, and to give back. Will you jump in? We will jump in. You are entering the profession at a time when healthcare is complex, where our understanding of human physiology, genetics, genomics is constantly growing, and the number of new medications and types of technology used in healthcare is phenomenal. Our health system is fragmented, with multiple healthcare organizations and systems. Private and public organizations and the military are all struggling to combat costs, health disparities, and to improve quality care. Can you believe in 2019, our country is still trying to determine how or even if we should provide health care to all? Really? Are you kidding me? This is the United States of America, the richest country in the world. If we can afford and figure out how to put a human being on the moon, certainly we can figure out how to provide health care to people here on Earth. Hate will not make our country great, but hard work, service, and caring for others will. We have to be the village to make the change, as we absolutely know that we cannot count on Congress to get it done, especially for our underserved communities that are most at risk. Graduates, please lead, please serve. Before I end my time with you today, family and friends, I just want to turn to you a minute and say, in honoring our students today, we are also honoring you, their families. We know that for students to be successful, they need the support of their village, their family, and friends. You all have made tremendous sacrifices for students to be here, and we thank all of you for your support. But now I've got another thing for you, family and friends. Whereas the graduates look at today as the end of the program, you may want to consider this as the beginning of the big pay back. What do I mean by this? Well, over the past 2 years, many of you stepped in and made sacrifices to support the members of Class 51. I'm sure these students missed out on completing many tasks because they had to go to class, had a task, needed to study, go to a clerkship. Does this sound familiar? Well, now it's time for them to step up and pay it back. You can give them a few more weeks while they prepare for their pants, but then after that, it's on. I'm sure there are refrigerators that need to be cleaned, closets that need organizing, grass that needs to be cut, children-related activities they can fully engage in, and of course, time to catch up on date nights and family gatherings, to name a few. MEDEX class of 2019, your journey as a student has come to an end. It's time to get a job, pay some bills, and start the big payback. The future of the PA profession, you are the future of the PA profession, and the MEDEX program has prepared you well. Not only do you have the knowledge and skills of a healthcare provider, you also embody the values of respect, integrity, caring, and trust. You will serve as a beacon of hope to many patients and communities who count on you to give them the best care, no matter their circumstances. Oprah Winfrey says at the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you have accomplished. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better, and what you have given back. MEDEX class of 2019, congratulations. The Duke PA program salutes you. The profession opens its arms to you. Thank you so much for allowing this tobacco farm girl from Tracy's Landing, Maryland, to stand here before you today. I hope I met the 4 B's. And now it's time for me to be seated. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that inspirational delivery. So at this point, we're going to have faculty come up, Christine Kimby, to introduce the class officers. I would like to just say, in order for a program like MEDEX to be successful, it requires a dedicated and committed faculty and staff. And so before we start into the rest of the agenda, I'd just like to have the faculty and the staff of the MEDEX program please stand for recognition, because again, you don't do this without a team. So folks here.
Well, good morning. So every class elects class officers, and they serve for the entire 2 years that the students are in the program. The president of Class 51 is Susan Marble. Prior to PA school, she worked as an RN in labor and delivery for 6 years, and upon graduation, she's looking forward to practicing in specialty care.
First, I'd like to echo what Terry said, a huge round of applause to our staff who works behind the scenes and our faculty who has led us through this journey. So thank you guys. And truly the biggest thanks goes out to all of you, our family and friends. You have been massive support systems for us, and we truly could not have done it without you, so thank you. And lastly, to my dear classmates, your moral compasses, your resilience in the face of hardship, and your pure authenticity that you all have makes me so very, very proud to be here in this moment with all of you to celebrate. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce our outstanding student speakers. Please give it up for Brett Steinmetz and Haley Fuchs.
medicine changes very rapidly, the best way that I learned to do preceptorships and clerkships is to keep everything on my phone. Because you can keep it in your pocket in the room. So I'm going to do my speech here from that. And I hope you guys will be okay with that. Thank you, Susan, for your kind words. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you all for being here today. This is a special day, and I want to say good morning to family, spouses, friends, faculty, and MEDEX Northwest Seattle 51. I'm humbled and honored to be standing here as a representative of our class to try and say something memorable to you, or simply just to say, we did it. I am not speaking on behalf of me, I am speaking on behalf of us. I'm just a voice that will try and represent all of us. I believe that those who nominated me to speak on behalf of them is important. I have no previous experience with this type of response. I also do not have any conflicts of interest to declare. Additionally, I was unable to hire a ghostwriter for this speech, and not many people are advertising for that on Craigslist, so please bear with me. A speech can be very intimidating, so I will humbly participate, even if my qualifications are only due to my ability to watch many TED Talks, read stories from other speech givers, or listen to others who have given classic speeches before me. We have heard many lectures from prominent leaders in their subject matter, and many hours reading from various medical authors. So what can I say that adds to this knowledge? What can I say that memorializes our lived experience? We have all come from various backgrounds and have different expectations of what this future profession entails. But what we do have is a shared experience of completing PA school. Some of us may still be trying to figure out who Greg is, or may still be learning when to correctly use the word gestalt, or casually build Scrabble points with words that start with E, like ecchymosis, edematous, and erythematous. We will likely always remember the guy in the desert and how to save his life if he jumps in the Hilton Pool Oasis. Or know what happens in our bodies if a saber-toothed tiger comes running through that door. We can also recognize when the kid that smells like a chemistry set is sitting in our office and instinctively know what to do next. But more importantly, I feel strongly that what we have accomplished requires a more thorough reflection. What we have accomplished deserves a short time for us to reflect. We have been going nearly nonstop for the past 2, almost 3 years, barely any time to stop and smell the roses, or in tangible ways experience birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, births, funerals, or anything else without the thought of an assignment due, or the thought that I should be studying something. Many might be thinking I should be studying for the pants right now, and I want you to stop it. If I may propose an idea, let us take a deep breath and allow a short time for reflection from this whirlwind journey. These next few short moments are for us, and for you, the audience, to speed walk through some of our experience and try to understand what we have accomplished. If all of us could just close our eyes, everyone, just close our eyes and just picture or envision what I say through this time. A journey about a group of amazing people sitting right here, a cohort with a llama as our mascot and a good luck charm, Seattle 51. But more than that, a class of dedicated learners and future leaders who will continue the mission of Dr. Richard Smith. On our first week here in Seattle, we learned about Dr. Richard Smith and the story to multiply his hands by being a caring provider to the underserved. Today, we begin that journey. Today, we add 47 passionate and driven PAs to care for people. Today is a mountaintop experience for us and everyone supporting us. But today, we also know there is a new peak to climb, a peak that may take us the rest of our lives, a peak that will require help from others, support from friends and family, courage to take the next step, and endurance to finish our journey. This peak is the art and practice of medicine. With our eyes closed, think about when you chose to go to PA school and why you wanted to take this journey, what that would entail, like retaking science courses or sacrificing time with friends and family to study. When you applied, maybe you didn't get accepted the first time, then the interview, then accepted with a phone call. Some of us most likely thinking, now what? Remember the joy, the feelings, and emotions you felt. Remember when we showed up for our first day in Seattle. Remember meeting everyone and hearing about the next 2 years of our lives. Remember our first exams and waiting anxiously for the scores. Remember trying to study the only way you knew how to, and then changing that plan a few times. Remember the studying, cramming, laughing, arguing, becoming friends and family with each other. Remember learning how to use your stethoscope, ophthalmoscope, and our hands on patients. Remember your first CRA, trying to act it out, or at least go through the motions. Remember your first emergency medicine simulation. Remember writing that first paper, and then writing more papers than one could imagine writing. Remember getting confident writing a paper at the last minute with no regrets. Remember the sacrifice to your life, your families, your friends. Remember celebrating at the end of a quarter. Remember learning more than medicine, MEDEX ensemble, attempting self-care, learning about those who are not like you. Remember finishing didactic year, that feeling of completion, then the new feelings of inadequacy. Remember your first rotation, showing up early and thinking, should I even be here? Or should I say anything out loud? Remember being stretched out of your comfort zone. Remember the travel, the Airbnbs, the nomadic lifestyle, the loneliness. Remember having that first interaction with a patient where you knew something and you knew how to treat their condition. Remember that first patient that you dug a little deeper into their history and found what truly was wrong. Remember when you were asked for advice and were trusted by your patient. Remember when that first patient cried to you and the reaction and empathy you showed them by hugging them or holding their hand. Remember the sacrifice of being alone to learn and practice medicine to help others. Remember that first job offer and that first interview. Remember when that first person asked you how and why you became a PA. Remember today. Remember what sacrifices you made to be here. Remember this moment. No one can take this from you. This is a new season in life, and most assuredly, what we have accomplished and learned about in the last 27 months will cycle around. Remember what you feel today, and remember why you chose to become a PA. With years of experience practicing medicine, one of my preceptors had a verbal send-off to patients when they were healed after surgery or treatment. Many would ask, what should I do next? Many of you are asking that same question right now. I share his recommendation to his patients and to you, Seattle 51. Go and do good things.
Thank you, Brett. That really was a great speech. And I'm starting to think that maybe I should have you guys close your eyes again. Just kidding. Yes, thank you, Brett. And before I start, I want to wish a very happy birthday to Jenna Gilbert. But seriously, thank you to all of you guys. It's truly an honor to represent you all today. And when I wanted to write a speech, I really wanted to represent you. I wanted to write something that was a collective voice, something that highlighted our unique personality as a class. So I called upon everyone to submit their CASPA essays. The essays that were referenced earlier are pre-PA school application essays. And I wanted to read them and compile them and chop them up and make something that was written for you guys, by you guys. And I'll be honest that when I started it, I thought I would be telling a tale of naivety. I thought that I would be highlighting our doe-eyed presumptions of the PA profession and contrasting them against the jaded reality of clinical medicine. But what I found is that we really had it right all along. Those motivations that shaped us 2 years ago are as true today as they ever have been. The thirst for knowledge, the empathy, the call to service that you all once advocated for is not only alive and well, but exponentially empowered in your new role as PAs. So, without further ado, the graduation speech collectively written by all of you. That's my daughter. So PA applicants are unique among medical professionals in that we are required to come into this field already with a lifetime of knowledge. We are an odd, unconventional medley of technicians, nurses, and professionals who have long touched and worked with patients. Individuals who wanted to do and learn more for their patients. Susan Marvel describes it well when she calls it a professional restlessness, a desire to learn and understand the rest of the story. For Kelly Carmen, it was an ethical and social responsibility. And Kara Singh was simply finished wondering what stood to be told beyond a patient's lab values. As providers who had long worked in touch with patients, we sought to understand their care beyond just our ancillary training. Our very own Zach Stevens states it well when he says, "When statistics become real people with names, faces, and stories, there is undoubtedly a vocational calling to do more." In recognizing the humanity behind our patient cases, it is difficult to quell the desire to do more for them. But Morgan Madras astutely realizes that this vocation goes beyond just the thirst for education. Rather, it is deeply seated in a longing to make an interpersonal impact. She states, "Not only does a PA career feed an analytical mind, but it is one that fosters meaningful, ongoing relationships." And it is those relationships, those tokens of gratitude, and those intimate moments with our patients that make our work more than just a profession. 2 years ago, we came into this field with various hopes and aspirations, and similar themes echoed from essay to essay. And I'll quote, "I want my work to be a form of service. I want to invigorate my life with new purpose. I want to address a person's basic need for health. I want to be a PA." And I'm happy to say today that we've done it, Class 51. You've accomplished all this and so much more. But what we've accomplished cannot truly be attributed to our work alone. In the words of Michael Kearney, our path as PAs cannot be linked to one single moment of realization. And he's absolutely right. It's not one single moment or experience, but rather accumulation of events, patients, and the community around us that have brought us here today. For each and every one of us, that was a little bit different. Some of us leaned on our spouses and partners, others rallied among close friends. Some of us rested on our parents and mentors. Some of us expanded our families through new children, and some of us suffered familial loss. So I think it's only appropriate, to be brief, but to end and say that we need to take this moment to honor and appreciate our families, our children, our mentors, and our patients who have brought us here today and have made this day possible. I want to dedicate this applause, our final applause, to them, the people who sacrificed so that we could satiate this quest to learn and do more. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Mark Hawkins, and I'm a MEDEX graduate, proud MEDEX graduate, and I'm also proud to be a veteran. And so today it's my distinct pleasure to recognize military service amongst our graduates. But first, allow me to indulge you with a pertinent historical perspective, some of which you've already heard from Dr. Barnett and a little bit from Terry. In the mid-1960s, physician shortages and uneven distribution of primary care, particularly amongst rural and underserved populations, was creating a strain on our nation's healthcare system. At that same time, and despite extensive medical training and experience among military combat medics and corpsmen, coming out of the Vietnam War, there was no corresponding civilian occupation or healthcare profession for these skilled veterans. A remarkable visionary, Dr. Eugene Stead, who was then the chairman of the Department of Medicine at Duke University, believed that a new breed of provider could increase consumer access to healthcare services. Thus, he enrolled the first class of former military medics and corpsmen into the new program designated to train physician extenders. In doing so, Dr. Stead developed this new curriculum based partly on the fast-track physician training implementation by the military during World War II. Subsequently, the very first physician assistant graduated in 1967. And during my own military experience, I was very fortunate to have been mentored by one of those very first Duke physician assistant graduates, P.A. Victor Germino. In the late 1960s, Dr. Richard Smith also recognized this need, particularly throughout the rural communities of the Pacific Northwest. After receiving funds for a federal demonstration project in 1969, Dr. Smith enrolled medics, the first class of former military medics and corpsmen, into the new MEDEX Northwest PA program at the University of Washington. Ever since those early years, MEDEX has proudly led the way with one of the highest percentages of veteran students among our civilian programs across the country. So as you see, military veterans have provided a rich tradition and innumerable contributions to the PA profession. And so it is with great honor today that I can recognize military service among our current graduates, our faculty, our staff, and those in this audience. With the following military veterans among Seattle Class 51, please stand and remain standing to be recognized for your service. Nathan Barlow, United States Army. Michelle Scott. I read that wrong. I had eyeballs out there. I knew I did that one wrong. Randall Kelly. Do I not have the right list? Pardon? Okay. Lonnie Ross. Rosa. Arlene Darrell. Ryan Craver. U.S. Army. Alex Schaefer. U.S. Army. Martin Martinez. U.S. Army. And Paul Hastings. U.S. Army. Lastly, with all U.S. veterans among the faculty, staff, and our guests, please stand and be recognized for your service to this country.
I'm Tim Evans. Nobody has clankers, so we can't sing any of our songs. Oh, we do have clankers. It's my pleasure to give the Outstanding Teacher Awards this year. We are fortunate because we have you. And if you have students like we do, and you put them somewhere in the general vicinity of knowledge, they will soak it up. And that's what you've done. We've had many opportunities to be proud of you in the last 2 years, but none is better than today. So congratulations to all of you. So we are fortunate, but you are fortunate too, because you have had the benefit of a lot of really terrific teachers and mentors and preceptors in the course of your time with us. And each year the students, the graduating students of each of the MEDEX campuses select from among their outstanding preceptors several to receive the Outstanding Teacher Award Award, which we know as the Golden Apples. There are 3 recipients today. I will introduce all of them to you. I think only one could actually be here. These are busy clinicians. A second one was going to be here, but texted a little while ago to say she was in the process of admitting a patient to the ICU. So she's sort of tied up at the moment. But let me introduce the 3 Golden Apple recipients. First is Dr. Jason Kilmer. Dr. Kilmer works at the University of Washington in Seattle, both as a student affairs and in a student affairs and research capacity. Jason is an associate professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences and serves as an investigator in several studies evaluating prevention and intervention efforts for alcohol, marijuana, and other drug use by college students. He is also the assistant director of health and wellness for alcohol and other drug education in the Division of Student Life, working in different areas across campus to increase student access to evidence-based approaches. Dr. Kilmer lectures to our students annually on the topic of motivational interviewing. Considering that he uses lectures, that he usually lectures the very first month of the didactic year, it's even more impressive that these graduates retain their admiration for his teaching skills almost 2 years later. A few student comments. One of the finest classes I've attended anywhere. He had a way of being inspirational, funny, and knowledgeable all at the same time. He made me want to listen to him for the entire presentation. That's doing something there. I can tell you from experience. This was the best lecture I have been to in a very long time. Dr. Kilmer is not able to be with us today, but we will make sure he gets his golden apple and join me in congratulating him. Next is a person who is here today, and I'm happy to acknowledge Laura Cater's presence. Laura is a 2013 MEDEX grad and board certified physician assistant at UW Medicine and a UW teaching associate of anesthesiology and pain medicine. She's an inpatient provider working with both acute and chronic pain patients. She has already been selected for many awards and recognitions in her short career. Laura teaches several topics in the behavioral medicine curriculum for MEDEX, including chronic pain and mood disorders. In addition, she is a tutor and a preceptor for our clinical year MEDEX students. Some student comments. Laura was very engaging and an amazing teacher. I think Laura is one of the best lecturers we have had yet. It is clear that she is passionate about this topic, she engages with the students, and has great experience to share with us. Such an amazing lecture. She showed passion, kept the class involved, and still covered everything we needed to learn. Laura is such an amazing speaker. Please have her come back forever. Please join me in congratulating Laura.
MEDEX faculty know they should never give me a microphone. How much time do I have? I don't know if I could ever share how much this means to me to receive this, and I want you guys to know how much I really appreciate it, and I value all of you. I didn't know I was going to get this award till I got here, and I'm probably glad I didn't know that, because I would have been too nervous and I wouldn't have shown up. I want to say that what's most meaningful for me is I don't teach, I call them sexy lectures. I don't teach sexy lectures like neurology or cardiology, or some of the lectures that Tim Evans gives. I teach suicide and depression and mood disorders and pain, and somehow, even with the levity, I feel like I'm able to bring some levity to some of these topics, and we have a little bit of fun, even though a lot of these topics are some of the most difficult that we experience as human beings, but definitely as providers. Since I am up here, years ago, Dr. Wick, when I had won an award at WAPA, And I'd asked Karen, like, should I go say something? Like, when I win my award? She's like, absolutely. I'm like, should I read a poem? She's like, absolutely. So, since I didn't have actually, it's good I didn't have any time to prepare, but I wanted to read one poem. And I also kind of want to do this in the guise of Brene Brown, who's one of my favorite storytellers, sociologists, is to always be brave, kind, and awkward. So this is a little bit of my brave, kind, and awkward moment here. But I want to read this poem because this poem changed my life when I was 27 years old, and it really kind of got me on my path of being a PA. And I want to read it to you guys, and I'm just really so proud of all of you. It's a big deal. The world is really lucky to have these graduates, and I'm extremely excited to have you as colleagues. This poem is called The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your wild and precious life? Thank you.
Our third recipient is Dr. Pam Penton. She's the recipient who's busy admitting a patient to the ICU, so she's not able to be with us. She's an assistant professor of family medicine as well as a U.S. Naval Reserve medical officer with 20 years of combined active and reserve service. She works in UW Medicine with an emphasis on women's health, being a good listener, and in shared decision-making. She's a dynamic teacher who prefers using cases to engage students rather than lecturing. Students said, "What an outstanding educator." Pam's presentation was high energy and full of clear and practical points. The group worksheet was effective at getting us engaged and also captured takeaway points. Awesome lecture. The cases were extremely well put together and helped us work through all of our objectives in a way that provided context. More Dr. Penton, please. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Penton. And we'll make sure that each of the recipients who couldn't be here today will get their golden apples.
Good morning, I'm Kira Bader. I'm the Associate Program Director of Academic Affairs, and that means I have the privilege of leading and representing our didactic faculty and staff across our 4 campuses. Just like our teaching awards are voted on by our students, our student awards are voted on by our faculty. So it's always a fun process when we get to talk about you guys and pick recipients for these awards. So my job this morning is to give the John B. Coombs Leadership Award. Dr. Coombs was the Associate Dean for Regional Affairs and Rural Health and School of Medicine. He had a long record of promoting the PA profession. He was a national leader in improving health care for underserved and rural populations through his work with the University of Washington's Rural Health Program. This award is presented to students who have become role models to their peers, have assumed some of the responsibilities of leadership during their training, and who have carried out these responsibilities with integrity, cooperation, and understanding. We sit down as a faculty every year to decide these awards. Usually this creates great debate, as you can imagine. You know our faculty. But this year was different. While there were many members of this class who displayed leadership qualities, there was one student who stood out. His leadership in the classroom was recognized both by his peers and the faculty, and he was elected by his fellow classmates to be the Director of Community Outreach. In the classroom, his positive attitude and enthusiasm for learning was infectious and inspired his classmates to push through the tough times with a smile. The faculty described him as being patient and gracious, both with his fellow students and with the faculty. His concern was not just for his own education, but he was often seen engaging the whole team in our simulation and other team-based assessments. He has a passion for emergency medicine, particularly in rural and medically underserved areas, and he spent his entire clinical year in rural Alaska. He was a recipient of the Mike Merrill Memorial Scholarship for students with an interest in emergency medicine. It is without a doubt that this student will go on to become a leader in our profession, and I'm honored to call him a colleague. This year's John Coombs Leadership Award goes to Alex Hellman.
This is really nerve-wracking. Really, can't really say anything, but this is incredible. Thank you so much for this award.
Good morning. You're all still here. That's good. I have the honor this morning to present the award, the Richard Layton Commitment to Underserved Populations. One of the MEDEX focuses is on primary care with an emphasis on underserved populations. With this as our mission, we endeavor to honor those students who have shown extraordinary continued commitment to the underserved populations. We have named this award for one of our early preceptors, a man who has become a role model. Describing Dick is a challenge. And since I like to tell stories, I'm going to tell you a story about Richard. If you've had a chance to meet him, you would have seen a twinkle in his eye, an ever-present smile on his face, an elfin beard, and during your conversation with him, he would make you feel you were the most important person in the conversation. Let me describe to you an early encounter with this preceptor from one of my early classmates. One evening, as darkness fell across the small hamlet of Grandview, Washington, a lonely figure in black leather rolls up on a motorcycle to stop in the back of a drive of a small farmhouse. This figure ambles up the drive to the porch and strikes 3 times on the door of a small wooden door. A woman in the house startles and calls her husband. Dick, answer the door. Someone just got off his motorcycle, and I don't like his looks. Dick answered the door, and the figure says in a very eager and chipper voice, "Hi, I'm Charlie Hall, your MEDEX student, here to do my preceptorship." Thus started Richard Layton's 33-year relationship with MEDEX. Richard started as a preceptor, as I just said, in 1972 while working in the Yakima Valley Clinic in Grandview, Washington. A number of years later, he moved to Seattle to become the first director of a family practice residency at Providence Hospital, serving many of the city's low-income and underserved populations. As one of the family practice residents recalled, understanding medical care in the context of family medicine, Dick came by the family practice residence room at 4:55 every single Friday to tell us to go home. Dick graduated in the 5th medical school class here at the University of Washington in 1954 when they still had a golf course right across the street. He served our community providing exemplary leadership. Dick also worked with the MEDEX as a member of the MEDEX Advisory Board,
It is a privilege for me to present the award to the very deserving individual, honoring my friend, our friend, Richard Layton. MEDEX attempts to select students for this honor who have commitment to underserved populations and primary care. It is really difficult for the faculty to identify a single member of your class for this honor. However, we must. This year's recipient noted early in the application process, as I reviewed it, to application to MEDEX, no one should die of a disease that is treatable. And this was stated by Dr. Paul Farmer, quite a famous physician and anthropologist who's frequently come to the university to speak. The applicant further went on to say, my desire to become a physician assistant is to carry out that sentiment to a step further, where no one should die of a disease that is preventable. This recipient worked internationally with an underserved population in Nicaragua, Mali, and Costa Rica. As this recipient pursued a master's degree in public health with a focus on global health, the opportunity to have an internship with the World Health Organization provided insight into the international issues of tobacco and health policy, specifically tobacco control. This person worked in tobacco control legislation. One of the letters of reference in this applicant noted emphatically, a fiercest public health advocate in disease prevention in underserved populations through dietary intervention. Another side of this recipient this year, the other side of the brain, is this recipient was a volunteer in library events, a bookstore, and bluegrass festivals. And quite a well-rounded PA, soon to be my colleague. I could go on, but I need to stop because there's more people going to talk. So Erica Borson.
Wow, this is an exciting honor, and I know I've already come up to some of you and know that a lot of us are public health nerds, especially because this is the mission of MEDEX, so I'm really honored with this, but now I'm surrounded by many of those who carry the same sentiment in working in underserved populations, so thank you very much.
Good morning, I'm Karen Wickham, the MEDEX Director of Research and Graduate Programs. And yes, Brett, there are a lot more written assignments than any of you expected. And I get to read a lot of them, so I have the privilege of announcing the Writing Award. 2 years ago, the very first summer quarter, you got your first assignment, and we give you a list of topics. You must choose from the list. And before I knew it, the student was in front of me saying, I want to go off the list. And I thought, oh, yeah. Likes to color outside the lines. But when that paper came in, it was a home run. And that's pretty much what this student did since then. There is a large paper that the students do for the big master's capstone project, and the students work with advisors. And so I asked the student's advisor to give me a couple of comments. Notes that this writing is always logical, thoughtful, nuanced, and a pleasure to read. The only issue working with this person as a capstone advisor was helping him contain his project to something appropriate for a capstone paper and not letting it morph into a PhD dissertation, which I would not be surprised to see him write someday. The writing award goes to Jeff Gallagher.
I did not expect to win the writing award because I think my writing is kind of garbage. And if I did, I would have thought it would have been for a different piece of writing I did for the class. early on. And I just wanted to say thank you to the class for making a safe space for us to share our writing out loud and not feel self-conscious about it throughout the year. Thank you.
I also have the privilege of announcing a couple of awards for the Capstone project. These students all presented their mid-master's project yesterday. Some of them did oral presentations with a slide deck, and some of them did a poster session. We have several awards for the Capstone project. 5 of them are cross-campus, so anyone from Seattle, Spokane, or Anchorage could get one of those 5. And since Anchorage doesn't do their presentation until tomorrow, we don't know who those people are. But we do know 2. The faculty vote on the best Seattle poster presentation and the best Seattle oral presentation. For a poster presentation, this is not just you put a poster on the wall and you're done. This is a 45-minute pop quiz where a bunch of people keep coming by and asking the same questions. And you have to smile and give them the answer. The faculty voted for the best Seattle poster presentation for a presentation on the impact of pre-exposure prophylaxis for HIV prevention and sexual behavior. Jay Collins.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate everyone who came to look at my poster. And thank you to Karen for helping me to edit my capstone presentation, and thank you to everyone for being here.
And then for the best Seattle oral presentation, this is about 10 minutes of presentation plus standing around for 5 minutes being grilled. The Seattle faculty thought that the best oral presentation yesterday was for best practices for increasing education about transgender healthcare in medical education. Alex Shepard.
Like everybody else, this is really unexpected, and thank everybody for coming to my presentation and for thinking that this is an important project. And thank everybody for being here today. We did it.
Hello, everyone. It is my pleasure and honor to do the Spirit of MEDEX Award. The Spirit of MEDEX Award comes from our mission, our desire to serve, to bring accessible health care to rural and underserved people. And the person who gets the Spirit of MEDEX Award, which could be embodied by many of our students, today is for Danny Satow. Danny is not able to be with us today, but the reason that she got this award is because of the way that she embodies struggling and succeeding in difficult circumstances. She had a very inadequate early education. When she got to community college, she had never had a high school or math science course. And to go the distance from that to becoming a graduated PA, it's a big, big distance and struggle. She had many family challenges, which have continued, and she has overcome so many things to be such a bright light. her case presentation and her capstone this week were both wonderful and exemplary, and I'm just really happy to say that Danny really has the spirit of MEDEX.
Hello, good morning to all of you. My name is Ami Naidu, and I will be presenting the Mary Reed Award of Excellence today. A little bit about Mary Reed. She graduated from MEDEX in 1983. Her husband, Joe Reed, worked with the Washington Association of Physician Assistants to establish this memorial award that honors Mary's commitment to academic excellence. The award goes to the one MEDEX student who has achieved the highest GPA among all the training sites during the didactic year. This year, the student happens to be at our Seattle campus. This student brings a blend of soft skills with hard skills to the profession. By using such a combination in treating patients, she can identify with patients on a different level and provide better health care. She is passionate for caring for the underserved, which is also exemplified in her Capstone project. She is authentic, humble, has a sense of humor, and is able to make personal connections with patients. I cannot think of a better way to instill health and well-being in a patient. I am proud to present the Mary Reed Memorial Award for Academic Excellence to Jenna Gilbert.
I love how we're all getting these awards and then looking at our presenter going, do we have to say something? Thank you so much. This is a real honor. I just wanted to echo what Brett said earlier in his speech about how you get to PA school and you think you know how to study and then you have to change that again and again and again. And I watched our entire class adapt to the challenge of learning and on an entirely different level. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you so much to our faculty and staff.
Good morning. I'm Dale Robinson. I'm a clinical coordinator for the Seattle office. First, I want to say thank you to all the faculty and staff for showing up today to support students. I also want to thank all the family members for showing up to support the graduates. I also want to say congratulations to all the graduates. This is a major step in your professional career. I'm here to present the Stephen Turnipseed Veterans Award. First, I want to tell you a little bit about Mr. Turnipseed. He is the first African American to graduate from the MEDEX program. He's also one of an entire class of veterans who graduated. Mr. Turnipseed actually, during his service in the military, received a letter of commendation for his services in northern Thailand. He also received the Medical Combat Badge for his services in the Dominican Republic. There was a conflict there and he actually served. Mr. Turnipseed, upon graduating from the MEDEX program, he actually went on to serve or work in family medicine, family practice, and serving the underserved communities for about 15 years. Then he migrated into administration where he worked for about 10 years. After that, Mr. Turnipseed went back to family medicine. I actually met Mr. Turnipseed about 2 years ago when he was here to present this award himself. We actually had a conversation. He said if I ever needed anything, to actually reach out to him. And when I found out I was going to be presenting this award a while ago, I actually reached out to Mr. Turnipseed. Mr. Turnipseed now is 76 years old, and he's still practicing medicine, working in an underserved capacity in Los Angeles, California, where he's actually serving predominantly Hispanic community. Just give him a hand for that. So when I first out to turn seat, I also asked him too, given how hard it is for us to find preceptors nowadays, I asked him would he actually mentor a student in the future, and he graciously agreed. So I would be remiss as a clinical coordinator, given the challenges we face to place students, to not use this to actually give out an ask. So to all of the graduating class, you know how difficult it was for me to get you guys rotations. I'm asking you, I'm asking any prior PAs in the audience, any doctors, any ARMPs, please consider mentoring a MEDEX student in the future. When you get our call, please answer it, we need you. So, to the recipient of this award, first, he is a veteran, and he's actually served for about 16 years now. He was actually deployed during his training here at MEDEX. So I remember when he told me that when he communicated with me that he was going to be deployed, he never complained. He said, hey, Dale, this is what it is, I'm going to be deployed. And so what I want to do is do everything I can to make sure I actually, get all my coursework done. So I had a conversation with him too about a week or so ago when I found out who he was the recipient of this award. I asked him about how everything went. He said that during his time, he went to actual South Korea to train some soldiers over there. So he told me that when he had time between, in between his duties and time off, he would work on his MEDEX coursework, and he actually submitted some papers and things like that, because this student worked really hard to try and get here today to graduation. So today is graduation, and he's here. And I'm happy, and first of all, thanks for your service. And I'm happy to present the Stephen Turnipseed Veterans Award to Ms. Paul Hastings.
Thanks everybody for showing up. Congratulations to the class for making it here. This is an awesome accomplishment. And special thanks to all the faculty and staff who helped me make it back and forth overseas and supported me through all my work while I was over there. Thanks.
So now we move to the portion of the ceremony where we will be awarding certificates. Before I do that, I also want to acknowledge the fact that in order to complete the MEDEX program, the second year is dependent upon volunteer clinicians who take the students. So if there's any preceptors or folks who have precepted our students at any point in the MEDEX program in attendance, would you please stand and be recognized as well? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Again, we cannot do what we do here without the help of those volunteer individuals. So we're going to take a moment here, transition to the awarding of certificates. So give us a moment, graduates. I think you know what to do, right? You mean line up.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is DJ Smith. I'm a Seattle didactic faculty member and an alumni of Seattle Class 46. It is my honor and my privilege to recognize each one of our graduates of Seattle Class 51. We will be doing the hooding presentations along with awarding them the Masters in Clinical Health Services certificates. So we'll begin with Arlene Durham. Brandell Marie Arce. Matthew Peter Armington. Nathan Daniel Barlow. Erica Kathleen Morrison. Lillian Baldwin Gouret. Kimberly T. Bowie. Kelly Colleen Kerman. Kevin S. Cheng. Jacob Daniel Collins. Alexandra Hurtado Damon. Dominique Dubois. Art Filatovich. Tamara Freeman Young. Haley Mae Fuchs. Jeffrey James Gallagher. Jenna Emily Gilbert. Miles Lanier Gilbreth. Abigail Rose Goss. Paul Hastings. Noren S. Wong. Michael John Carney. Samra Khan. Janelle Minji Kim. Sarah Elizabeth Larson. Morgan Sowers Majerus. Martin Martinez. Susan Shylin Marvel. Jocelyn F. McDaniel. Heather Minahan. Rena Rain Moe. Johnny Tung Win. Alexander William Pellman. Alexis Echo Pong. Haima Robin. Leilani J. Rosa. Amber Jean Ross. Diane Monica Schmitz. Michelle Scott. Alex R. Schaefer. Alan Connor Smith. Brett Steinmetz. Zachary T. Stevens. Tara Singh. Christy Van Neal. Jenna Warren. Sierra Whitmer Rodriguez.
So would the graduates please stand? On behalf of the MEDEX program, the University of Washington School of Medicine, I present to you the graduates of 2019, Seattle Class 51, and the extended master's graduates. Congratulations. This concludes the ceremony. We would want to remind the graduates one more nice photo up on stage, but I want to thank everyone for attending and enjoy your career and have a nice day.